Hey, what is going on, everyone? It's your boy Tanvir Syed. On both channels, the Bengal Dragon and Blind Man reviews. Please do make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification button if you enjoyed this comment, as I am trying to grow actually both channels. Right, so this is just going to be a quick video, unedited, about firstly the new Venom movie, Let There Be Carnage, and this is actually the very first movie I've seen in a theater with audio description headphones, with the headphones. Yeah, so for those who are unaware, a lot of movie theaters, I don't know about other parts of the world like Abu Dhabi and Dubai and whatnot, but let's say where I'm here in Central Florida, a lot of the theaters will actually provide you with headphones that provide simultaneous audio descriptions, which is it's a good starting step, but it there's definitely immense amount of room for improvement. Okay, so the first movie, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and yes, the second movie, I'll separate that into another video as well. So my overall thoughts about this, first, the visuals were a bit dark. Maybe it's because, I don't know, maybe the projector was kind of old, or maybe it's just like there wasn't that much lighting where it was filmed anyways. It was supposed to be dark. But from what I could see, the visuals looked very good. You know, with my limited vision, it did look very good. Even like, you know, with the little bit that I could see from how far I was sitting from the front of the theater, and it's in on par, if not completely on par, maybe even surpassed what we saw in, I believe, Venom 2018. And yes, this was a movie I was looking forward to a lot, because I constantly kept asking my friend, like, you know, did they have any updates on the Carnage movie? Updates on the Carnage movie? Updates on the Carnage movie? So that was, you know, one of the positives of the movie. Another one of the positives of the movie is that if you are a fan of the first movie, and if you bought into the lore of the first movie, this movie makes sense. This was a good follow-up, because it is especially to do with the behavior and the mannerisms of Venom. Venom has a childish brain. The Venom character, it's almost like a 5th or 6th grader. That's why when I saw, or when I heard Venom say "turd in the wind," "turd in the wind" is what maybe 4th or 5th grader, well, back in the 90s or early 2000s, 4th or 5th private school kid would say. Not the public city school. The public city school, they will use each and every cuss word that they know, and some of them that even their parents don't know. Okay, so "turd in the wind" is like very PG type, and that, if you bought into that type of character of Venom, you will find this a good follow-up, because even the humor around it was actually, like, you know, suited to a Venom that would be not that much intelligent, would be somewhat intelligent, but, you know, is still, like, you know, trying to, like, you know, settle down. Like, he's more concerned about, you know, fame and fortune, because you see almost at many times, not every time, but many times, you know, you see he actually makes sure to let Eddie Brock know that Venom was right, and Venom deserves some credit. This is something you see from children. So in that regard, it was done well. Okay, the How Cletus Cassidy got the Carnage symbiote, I had no problem with that. And also, you can say, like, some of the comedic elements, like Venom needing brains to eat. So all Eddie Brock can afford are chickens, a lot and lot of chickens. And for Venom, it's too little because their brains are tiny. Okay, and also the whole thing about the rave party. I kind of liked that because it was also like, like a fourth wall joke, kind of, but also a shot at, like, contemporary type of without sounding too political, contemporary activism in some areas, or how this extreme activists, some of them are perceived to have a good time, that even in their good time they'll spout their activism, and they'll cheer at anything that vaguely even supports their notion of what they're actually doing activism work for, basically, what they're advocating for. If it says, like, for instance, like, there are places where Venom says, or there's a part of where Venom says, like, something along the lines of, like, I was shackled but now I am free, and then you see all the hippie looking people, they're all cheering as if it's supposed to mean something to them. So those parts were done well. The Carnage part, okay, how strong they showed Carnage, it was also done well, because Carnage is supposed to be stronger than Venom, much stronger than Venom. Okay, now the inclusion of Scream or Shriek or whatever her name is, I'm not too sure about that. That's one of the parts I was a little confused with. Like, why? Why can't you just have Venom versus Carnage? Why does Cletus Cassidy need a love interest? In fact, from the comics, or like what was described on some of the YouTube channels, and actually, like, I think the name is either Comic Story or Variant Comics. They actually do some pretty good descriptions of like audio descriptions and audio narrations of comics, which actually allows me to consume a lot of comic material. And actually, looking back, I'm starting to realize I have missed a lot by not being able to read comics, and by comics only being in those, like, little, like, books, little those comic books. So I don't remember from some of those comics, like Absolute Carnage and Maximum Carnage, I don't remember Cletus Cassidy ever having a love interest. Like, why does Cletus Cassidy have a love interest? So yeah, that was, I thought that part, it kind of brought down the momentum of the movie, because when you're called Carnage, you're supposed to be about just carnage. Okay, the Carnage animation I mentioned before was also done pretty well, and the whole scene in the church was also done pretty well. How they ended up beating Carnage, it was also, it could have been done better. Yes, here's another part that could have been done better. I felt they sort of rushed it. Okay, but the overall ending, where, like, I believe the bell falls on Cletus Cassidy or on Carnage, and the symbiote comes out, and Venom swallows the symbiote and then bites off the head of Cletus Cassidy. Okay, but here's the thing. In the comics, here's one thing to realize. in the comics, or maybe from the first movie, if you remember, how does a symbiote die? The only way to kill a symbiote is through heat or through sound. So, swallowing it is technically not supposed to kill the symbiote. So, here's where I feel they left it open for someone else to become Carnage. And in this regard, I am completely for the movie deviating from the comics if it is done right. So this whole thing with Screech or Scream or whatever, like from the comics I've seen or I have consumed, it's a bit of a deviation. If it's done right, it's not a problem. If it is not done right, even if you're following the comics, it doesn't matter. Okay, so that was my review of the movie. I would give it a 8 out of 10. 7.5, maybe 8 out of 10. Now, with regards to the audio description, the audio description, and this is actually like I've seen, like, you know, with other movies as well, but the audio description here was pretty good, but the simultaneous talking over each other, it actually helps, not helps, it actually, like, you know, mutes out, or it actually, like, you know, makes it difficult to hear what some of the people are saying. It actually goes over the dialogue. It talks louder than the dialogue. And when you have two people talking and like one of them is constantly talking louder than the other, okay, and that first voice that's talking louder is actually talking louder than all the other people, not just one person. And it makes that time very difficult to follow a discussion that is happening at a lower volume and while trying to listen to an audio description that's happening at a louder volume. So, also, many of the parts I felt the audio description was unnecessary, and some of the parts I thought the audio description was inadequate. Because I actually because I went with someone. I asked, I think my brother, I actually asked him, like, okay, what else happened, and then, like, he filled me in on perhaps a few of the details that, like, I missed. It was not described in the audio. All right, so would I recommend this movie? If you're a fan of the first movie, yeah. Otherwise, just watch the post-credit scenes. Just watch the post-credit scene. That's all I'll say. Just know that Venom survives, and just watch the post-credit scene. Now, I've seen some people online. They're saying that they're disappointed in this movie because they're huge fans of Maximum Carnage. I'm like, listen, buddy. Maximum Carnage took a lot of build-up. If you're expecting Maximum Carnage level type of action in this movie, then you are being completely unrealistic. This is Carnage's debut movie. Okay, they killed Carnage off the way they did, or supposedly killed Carnage off. Yes, I find that as a problem too. Because in an ideal world, I would have had Carnage retreat. Not killed. Just go away for a while or something. But to expect Maximum Carnage type of action where you need an Infinity War or an Endgame type of writing for that to happen. To expect that from this movie, I thought, it is completely unrealistic. Anyways, those are my thoughts on Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Please do hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons, and let me know what you thought about this movie in the comment section below. It's your boy Tanveer Side, the Bengal Dragon, signing out of this first movie review.